Hey, welcome to the CS Advisors video on graduation planning. Some supplemental materials to have open throughout this video are our CS Advising link tree, as well as a shared folder with CS graduation planning materials. The link tree includes links to all web pages and resources referenced in this presentation, whereas the shared folder includes a copy of the in-person presentation for this topic, which looks a little different than this video, as well as program packets with worksheets and information on all degrees under the CS department umbrella, which includes computer science majors, data science majors, and computer science plus design majors. Find the packet that aligns with your current degree program and download it to be used as a resource when completing your graduation planning.
Now, the first step when you're doing any graduation planning is to pull up your degree audit. For those of you who have not used your degree audit yet, your degree audit will be the best resource for telling you what you have completed and what you have remaining in your desired major. You can access it from my.uic portal. You can use the clickable links on your degree audits to see catalog information for each class, but the flowchart may be a better resource for knowing course prerequisites.
All right, let's go ahead and have each of you all run the most updated version of the audit to work with today. Be sure to look at what major and curriculum version that you are running and verify that is what you're aiming to build a plan for today. If you're planning to drop your concentration, change your curriculum, or change to a new major in the CS department, feel free to run a what-if degree audit, which can be done by selecting a different program when running that degree audit.
So for here, we're gonna talking about student expectations. First, have I expected graduation date in mind, build the plan accordingly to know if it is realistic. Keep in mind that the credit hour limit in fall and spring semester is 18 hours, and in summer is 12. To go above this limit, you need the college's permission. Be aware that even with easier classes going over the limit will likely result in a really difficult semester and may not be the best route for you to take in order to graduate in your desired timeline. Next, know your approach. Is it to get through prerequisites as soon as possible or finish general education requirements early? Be honest with yourself about strengths and weaknesses and plan with that in mind. Do you like having breaks from technical elective courses? Are you not the strongest coder? Do you procrastinate? The plans you make today will inevitably have to change. With limited seats and irregular course offerings, make sure to make a plan that is flexible.
Now, we know we are here to build ideal plans, but we also know that nobody's journey is always going to go perfectly. We want to make sure you have the knowledge that if you do not pass a required CS class 2 times, that your access to that class, and therefore the remainder of our program, will be limited. A petition is needed to take a class a 3rd time. If not approved, you will be unable to continue on with your degree requirements and will likely be dropped from your degree program. Please review the details on the slide for more information about the repeat policy.
Here, we're going to talking about the curriculum changes. First, the previous curriculum is only accessible to students who were admitted to their computer science major earlier than fall 2023. The following courses credit hours have been increased by 1 hour each, which is Computer Science 211, 261, 361, 362. Moving forward, this will impact everyone regardless of which major or curriculum you are in. Students switching to the new curriculum that have already completed the courses listed prior to fall 2023 will have to make up the missing hours with additional or non-required computer science courses. Students deciding to stay in the previous curriculum that have not already completed some of these courses will have their free electives reduced accordingly. Computer Science 277 and 377 are required in the fall 2023 curriculum for computer science majors. The previous version only requires 377. Science electives hours requirements reduce from 10 credits to 8 credits if you switch to the new curriculum. If you have further questions about the fall 2023 or previous curriculum, look for more information on the computer science website and ask for support from your assigned advisors as well. But be reminded, your assigned advisors may not go in depth on that information or process in this presentation.
Fantastic. So now that we've covered those details, we're going to go into what we're actually covering today for that graduation planning that you'll be doing as you follow along. First, we'll go over foundational information, as we just did. Second, we'll go into English, then science and math requirements, core major requirements, technical electives, gen eds and free electives, CS+ design information, data science information, courses not used toward your degree, as well as reviewing the plans you built at the end.
Before we begin, this presentation is meant to help everyone here understanding the nuances of the requirements for their computer science program major. The idea is that after today, you all will be able to build as accurate of a graduation plan as possible, both for now and after today. The slides will cover multiple versions of the required sections from the degree audit, including the different majors, concentrations, and iterations of the curriculum. For computer science plus design majors, we'll have the design courses that need to be taken in a specific sequence. We won't go over that specific track, but please talk to your assigned advisors for more information. For data science majors, you will have to choose a concentration that will impact your required courses. We won't go over every concentration, but please talk to your assigned advisor for more specific information.
Okay, before we get into each section of building out your plan, we have to start laying out some foundational knowledge about each major. So first is computer science. This major requires 128 degree hours and concentrations are optional. The images you see are going to be from a general non-concentration computer science audit throughout the presentation, unless labeled otherwise. You will have a chance to run your own audit and follow along with your specific requirements. Please go back and do so if you haven't already. Our next major is data science. Data science requires 120 degree hours and has 7 concentrations to choose from that are mandatory. They are existing within multiple colleges within COE, the College of Business Administration, and the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. Next is the computer science plus design major. This also requires between 120 and 122 hours, depending on the elective choices made. This major does not have any concentrations and is expected to take 4 years from the term that you began the program, which would be a fall semester as it's a fall only program.
Okay, final check. Please ensure that you have the packet that is correlated to the program you just ran an audit for, so there is no confusion. From this point on, you will have all the necessary resources to start figuring out what you will need to complete during your time in our program. As we go through each requirement, we want you all to notate in your packet or elsewhere what classes and requirements you still need to complete and potentially start creating your graduation plan as you watch this video. We will talk about concentrations for the computer science program in the presentation, but once again, we will not be going over them for the data science major. To be explicitly clear, we are not here to build your plans for you, and that should never be a student's expectations. We can give advice and perspective, but in the end, you have to make your own graduation plan. The goal of this presentation is to give you the tools to not only build your plan today, but make any changes needed as you move toward your program.
All right, so getting into the first requirement on your degree audit. As we cover this, you can use this time to mark those classes, as Daxuan mentioned, that you still need to take from each section. So first off, English. All majors, the CS, data science, CS+ design natively require English 160 and 161. You are allowed to take one of these 3 humanity courses that will sit under general education requirements, but can be seen as an equivalent to English 161. However, if you go that route, you will need to take more free elective hours to make up for not taking English 160.
All right, here is mathematics. All majors in the computer science department have math requirements that include at least 180 and 181. Computer science majors will have a math elective section to complete as well. Soft engineer concentration are required to choose IE 342 for the probability course, and it sits under core courses. Computer science plus designs are required to take IE 342. You will also have the choice of an additional science or math elective. Data science majors can find their math requirements under the core courses section. Additional statistics courses are required but will depend on the choice of your data science concentration.
All right, getting into your science courses. This will differ for CS majors depending on your curriculum. So CS majors in the previous curriculum prior to fall 2023 will need 10 total science elective hours. Since only both chem classes add up to 10 hours, you do have the choice to use a supplemental science list. This is included in your packet if you are under the previous curriculum. To complete the hours, but you must take at least 2 classes from the main list before a supplemental science elective can count toward your degree. CS majors in the fall 2023 curriculum only need 8 hours, but no class from that supplemental list I just referenced can be used towards those science electives. It has to come from the list that you see on your screen. Something also to note is if you do have a human-centered computing concentration as a CS major, you will be required to take Physics 141 and 142 specifically, regardless of which curriculum you're under. For CS+Design students, you will also have to complete 8 hours of science electives, but you have more options in your list for science electives. For data science, you won't actually see a science elective section on your degree audit. Instead, you will need to complete the Analyzing the Natural World General Education section, which we'll talk about a little bit more later.
And next, we're going to talk about computer science core major requirements. Engineer 100 is a requirement for all College of Engineer majors, but does not count towards the required graduation hours. As mentioned earlier, CS majors will see a different set of requirements based on their curriculum year. CS 277 is only a requirement for the fall 2023 curriculum, but CS 377 is still required for both. CS 461 is listed as a requirement in the previous curriculum, but a technical elective in fall 2023's curriculum. Except computer system concentrations, students can replace CS 461 with another technical elective with a general student partition to the college. CS 499 has to be taken in a student's final semester.
All right, so looking away from just computer science majors and toward computer science plus design and data science core major requirements. So similar to CS, Engineering 100 is a requirement for all College of Engineering majors, but does not count as a credit order hour toward the required graduation hours for your degree. CS 277 and CS 499 are not required in either the CS plus design or data science program. Again, CS plus design have design courses that have to be taken in a specific order for your degree. If you have questions about that outside of what's provided in the packet for CS plus design majors, then you can go ahead and speak to your assigned CS plus design advisor. Data science majors will have their concentration specific requirements listed in this core courses section as well. If those requirements are outside of the CS class catalog, then we won't be covering them today. So please make sure to bring these plans or questions to any meetings you have with your advisor to get more information and make sure you're staying on track.
Okay, technical electives. This is going to be the section that is going to require the most flexibility in your planning. Every version of the CS major will have their technical elective section appear differently. The same will apply to the 400 level class option within the data science and CS majors as well, where this is the version without concentration. Human-centered computing, software engineer, computer systems will have their specific required technical electives listed here. The 423 list is longer than the previous curriculum, but everything listed here are approved technical electives and can be used with a general student petition. Make sure that when you are planning to take these classes that you meet all the prerequisites for them. All of them have a prerequisite without at least the 200, but most require additional classes to be completed before or taken alongside. It is your responsibility to know the prerequisites to the classes you are in, whether the system allows you to register or not. All of these classes will have sections listed at different credit hour amounts. The higher credits hour version is always going to be exclusively for graduate level students. When listing classes, just make sure you are planning in a way to complete the section. You don't have to decide the exact classes you are going to take right now.
So for general education requirements, continuing to move down your degree audit, there are technically 6 different categories here. However, computer science and computer science plus design majors, your math and science classes will be used to complete or fulfill the requirements of the Analyzing the Natural World section. Keep in mind, though, that that does not mean that you get duplicate credit for those courses used. It just means, as mentioned before, that you will not need to worry about this section of your general education requirements. Data science students, however, do have to take a class to complete this section. For each of the other categories, you need to be completing them by one unique class. Some classes are options for multiple gen ed categories, but you will have to choose which of the sections you want that class to fulfill. Again, it can't be used multiple times to fulfill multiple sections. If you would like to that class to move to a different section that it is approved to be used for, you can do that by submitting a general student petition to the College of Engineering. That link is available in the link tree. CS majors are the only group of our CS umbrella majors that will need a plan for the additional gen ed/humanities section. The audit specifies what type of classes can be used to complete this section. It also mentions that your advisor has an approved list, which is not accurate. We will encourage you to use the 4 criteria listed to get a better idea of what your options are. CS majors with a human-centered computing concentration, you all will have 12 hours required for your additional gen ed elective section. You must take at least 3 classes from the provided list on your degree audit. If after the 3 classes you are still short of those 12 hours, then we can use other classes that fall under the additional gen ed criteria to make up those hours.
Here, we're going to talk about CS+Design's humanities requirements. CS+Designs are required to take Art History 110, as well as Design 236 and 355. Art History 110 will also complete the Understanding the Creative Arts General Education category, so do not plan to take a class for this section. The design courses will complete the humanities requirements as well, so do not plan to take classes for that section.
Something unique for data science students to consider around your gen eds as well is that data science students require 8 hours in a single foreign language. However, there are a number of ways that this requirement can be completed. You can take 2 courses here or transfer that credit in from a different institution. If you have received a 3 or higher on any AP foreign language test, you will come in with at least credit for the first 2 to 3 levels of that language. However, there are some methods to complete this requirement that may not bring in at least 8 credit hours. If you complete this requirement because you were placed into a 3rd level of a language at UIC via a UIC placement test, if you qualified for the seal of biliteracy, your secondary education was not instructed in English, or you are proficient in ASL and that method did not provide you at least 8 credits, you will need to make up the missing credits with free elective hours.
Okay, free electives. It is common for students to think that they can take any course that the university offers as a free elective. That is incorrect. Here are the criteria that a class needs to abide by in order for it to count as a free elective. No preparatory classes can count towards your degree. For example, Chemistry 100, Maths 121, Computer Science 100, Biology 104, and no repetitive or duplicate classes can either. Examples, failing a classes, then retake it, honor 222, music band. You cannot have equivalent courses both count towards your degree. Information can be found on the catalog if not explicitly stated on the audit. You can take other kinesiology classes, but you can only have 2 hours of personal fitness. It is the college that makes decisions on what you can and cannot fall under this section. You will have to use a general student's petition to move any courses here.
The free elective section is the only section on your degree audit that will not be explicitly clear on what courses are needed and are counting towards the section. If you are over the required hours in any section, examples such as your science, CS with the credit hour changes due to the curriculum changes, or maybe you took a 4 credit hour gen ed, those additional credits are going to be used to reduce your free elective hours. They're functioning almost as floating free electives. But also the alternative is true. If you are completing less than the expected hours, examples, taking a humanity course for English 161 credit, taking a 2-hour gen ed, data science, if you don't have 8 hours of the language requirement, but we're still able to complete it, all of those will add to the free electives needed. Just a note, if you are short also on any CS, math, science hours, you can only make up that deficit by taking more classes from that technical subject. So it does not apply to free elective hours. In general, how we like to instruct students to calculate those free electives they still need is by doing the following. So first, take the hours needed from each of the degree audit categories that we've discussed that you have not completed, and then find their sum. Next, you'll add the number of those completed hours under your total degree hours section. So should list it there as earned completed hours. Then add that number of hours that you have in progress under that same degree hours section as well. Once you have that sum, you'll subtract the total number of hours that you still need to graduate. This number you just calculated, that is the number of free electives needed at the moment, but may be able to be reduced by using classes sitting in your courses not used section.
Okay, course not used for degree section. Just as a reminder, the degree audit is not perfect. There may be a number of things that need to be moved around during your time here. So the course not used for the degree section consists of all the classes that the audit currently does not see as having the ability to come towards your degree. There are a number of reasons a class may sit in this section, but some including having classes sit here incorrectly. It is the college that manages this section as well and will need a general student's petition or modification of major form to be moved. Generally speaking, to move a class, it has to at least follow the rules for free electives. If a credit isn't coming in as a specific course, chances are we cannot use it.
All right, we are about to transition toward the end of our video. But as you start really working on your plan and factoring in where to put each course, we wanted to recap some general recommendations that we tend to give to our students. So first, all of our programs have CS 211 and CS 251 as requirements. When taking these classes together, be very intentional about what you pair with those classes in a given semester. These are our heavier programming courses that use 2 different languages. It may be a good time to utilize other lighter requirements, such as free electives or gen eds, to create balance in that semester. If you have to build a plan for all the 200 level CS courses, We just like to tell you, do not plan to take CS 211, CS 251, CS 261, and CS 301 together. That historically has been one of the two types of semesters we have seen students perform worst in. Each of those classes are individually challenging and extremely time-consuming. Even if you only have CS requirements left, you may have the opportunity to take lighter CS classes like CS 277 or CS 377, or maybe even MCS 320. Our programs also do have a few opportunities for bottlenecks that will limit your ability to progress through your CS classes. Spend some time thinking about your trajectory. Figure out the 300 to 400 level classes you know you want to take, and use the CS flowchart in your packet to see what is the optimal way to gain access to those classes. The optimal meaning quickest, as well as most likely to bring you towards success. Technical electives are going to have a wide variance when it comes to difficulty and availability. If you can, spread out your technical electives as much as you can. Having to take 4 to 5 in a semester is the other semester type we typically see students have a hard time being successful in.
All right, congratulations. You have reached out to the end of this presentation. If you followed along and made notes to the classes you need to complete, you will now have a list of all requirements you need to complete for your remaining terms. This is what you are going to use to build your graduation plan. A template to build out that schedule is provided in the packet, but students also use Excel or Google Sheets instead. Use whatever is easiest for you. If you have questions or want to review your plan with a computer science advisor, plan to attend a CS drop-in advising section. Otherwise, follow us on Instagram. See you!